Okay, blending techniques using Prismacolor color pencils and colorless blenders. Starters, here's what a colorless blender will do. We're going to take yellow, then a blue, and then you take colorless blender, and if you watch, what it does is it smears it around. All it is a colored pencil with no pigment. And you can keep working at it, and you can wind up getting it to where it's almost seamless. To blend it together a little bit better to smooth the transition, go a little bit lightly with the blue onto the yellow, and then the yellow onto the blue. As you can see, just by going over top of each other, they start blending together themselves. Then we take the colorless blender and it smooths it out quite nicely. Another trick to do for blending colored pencils is odorless mineral spirits. And to do that, I just use a Q-tip and I dip it in there and then I rub it over. What it does is a solvent that will go ahead and basically kind of like dissolve the wax and allow you to blend the pigments together. See, after you do that, you can go ahead and build even more layers on top. Same can be done with the spots that you've just used the colorless blender on. The trick with working with colored pencils is lots of layers. To be able to do that, you do have to have a heavy paper. What I'm using here is Bristol paper. Okay, now here's another thing to do. We're going to draw a circle. We're going to leave a white spot. That will be for the highlight. We're going to start shadowing with the same color. Now we're going to take a darker purple to increase the contrast. These areas here, we're going to go a little lighter pressure. Down here, a little bit heavier to make it darker. Going to go over there because we want the transition to be as smooth as possible. Okay, for the super dark areas, we're going to add a bit of blue. You never want to use black for shadows. It's just is not realistic. Okay, now what this is a colorless blender just like the Prismacolor, except for it's one solid chunk. It's like a woodless one. So it's fantastic for larger areas. And so we're just going to start blending in. Now the areas where you got less colored pencil, it's not going to blend as much because there isn't as much to work with. These areas where there's less pencil, that is where you would want to go ahead and use the odorless mineral spirits to help spread it out. Some colors react better to the odorless mineral spirits than others. I got this one, that blue. It practically totally changes whenever you use the mineral spirits on it. And then it is just a matter of slowly building up the colors little bit by little bit. I'm going to take a white and kind of go over the edges here. Oops, it looks like I had a little bit of yellow on the tip of my pencil and I didn't realize it. It's one thing you got to watch with the colorless blenders and the whites and the lighter colors is what other colors have been picked up on the end of the pencil. So, there you go. Basics of the colored pencil stuff.